else are we supposed to start the podcast?
1, 2, 3.
Good.
Okay.
Way to go. So you don't feel well today, huh?
No, I cannot kick this. I've had it with this sickness.
So, listener, if you notice that Pumps is hacking
Yes.
and sounds a little ill, she's under the weather. But we are going to push through because that's how dedicated we are on this podcast journey and manifesting this podcast. You do kind of have a little bit of a smoker's laugh.
All the time or just today?
Pretty much all the time.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I earned that.
So, Pumps, what have you had it with this week?
I've had it with sports parents. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
So my youngest Luke is in high school, and it's the state basketball tournaments. And his school has a really, really, really good team.
Right.
So I'm not even kidding you with the, we want to take snacks every day. We want to take food every day. Parents are acting like this is the NBA finals. Like,
oh, yeah.
We're going to the NBA finals.
Right.
And that, like, maybe the parents are as intricate to the playoff wins as the students.
I've seen, because I'm friends with a couple of your parent friends, and I follow one dad in particular on Instagram, and he posts a picture of the bracket, and he puts the date and then like a dramatic space in between it, and the time, and then another dramatic space, and then he puts the big house. And we're talking, listener, about 4A high school basketball team in which the man that posted this is not a player.
Correct, because it's a high school basketball team.
Right, right.
But he is by no means alone.
Oh,
The fervor that is around this, it truly,
yeah,
it's comparable to the Olympics.
yeah.
And I did have a big hissy fit because everybody was like, we're going to sign up to take snacks. We're going to sign up to do this. We're going to sign up to do that. And I was like, I'm out. I'm not doing that.
Right.
If these kids can go buy their own snacks, like, this is ridiculous.
Right.
But I have to say, the moms made each kid a poster, like a playing card poster, and it's really cool. And Luke super duper loves it. So I have had to eat a little crow on that.
Where do the posters go?
When they decorate the locker rooms, Jennifer.
And the moms are making these?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
And they're decorating the laundry or the locker rooms.
See, when we were in high school, I was a cheerleader, as you were as well.
Yep.
We did this. Like,
Right.
we made, and the moms are up at the school making posters and decorating the locker room.
And have been for 3 weeks leading up to
No,
this.
they've already gone to school. They need to get the fuck out of the locker room.
Agreed.
It's too much. These moms that are up there at the school, Tomahawk Choppers. I mean, fucking Black Hawk needs to go down. These women have got to pump the brakes and let the kids go to school and let the kids do all of this. It's too much. These are the same people that are probably bitch about, well, that Gen Z, they're so lazy. And I'm like, well, I wonder the fuck why. Because mom's up making posters via glamour shots and trotting it all out over the locker room. It's too much. It's enough.
Yeah.
It's too much.
It's rampant. What have you had it with, my darling?
Okay, so Kylie has blown us up on TikTok, right?
Right.
So TikTok is this whole new, like something I would compare to probably crack cocaine. You get on there and it's just like, you're just getting flooded with all this shit. So I get on there, of course, to go to our page.
Right.
I've had it to see how that's doing. And I notice that there's like post after post on TikTok, and it's called the moon phases and soulmates trend.
What is that? I've seen that.
I'll tell you what it is.
Okay.
TikTok users believe that moon phases trend reveals your soulmate. So what you do is you figure out, like, you were born in what? February 18th.
17th, 70.
70. Okay. Not 60?
Fuck off.
So then you figure out what the moon was the day you were born, would figure out what the moon was the day that some love interest of yours was born. And if, like, yours is a half moon and theirs is a half moon and it fits together, then that's your soulmate.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That is ridiculous.
It is a jet stream of bullshit.
Yeah.
It is right up there with the astrological signs, probably even
I was
worse.
going to say probably even worse because you have to do so much research.
So anyway, you compare your date with your partners, and a lot of people are now comparing them to their pets, which I can kind of get a little bit more on board with that.
That's right up your alley.
Although I do think all of that stuff is total bullshit, but it's unbelievable. You've seen it on TikTok, right?
I've just seen like the moon things.
That's what they're doing. So it's like Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber and their moons fit perfectly together.
Okay. Well,
So-
they're already married, so it's a little late.
They're soulmates. So I asked Kylie to do some matching of moons.
Okay.
So Kylie matched our moons. But wait, listener, I want you to hear something. Pumps, remember when you called me like a year ago and you said that Emily asked you who your soulmate was?
Yes.
Tell the listener how you answered that.
I said Jennifer immediately. Never skipped a beat.
That is so sweet. She called me and she said, Emily just asked me who my soulmate was. And I said, Jennifer.
Right.
Immediately.
Immediately.
So let's see what the moon says.
That's false.
What's false? That we're.
You two are not soulmates.
Oh my gosh, we're not?
No. I did Jennifer's, Pump's, Josh's, and Tubby's.
Okay.
And here's who was soulmates in that group.
Okay.
Jennifer, you had one soulmate.
Tubby.
Josh.
Oh,
my
that's so fun.
But don't get too excited. Josh had 3 soulmates.
Who were they?
Josh and Pumps, Josh and Jennifer, and Josh and Tubby.
Oh my
The
gosh.
fact that he would have 3 soulmates tells me that whole thing is fucked up.
I mean, here's the deal. Like, so Josh and I were moon soulmates.
Yeah.
You know what? We better fucking should be moon soulmates. I mean, that guy has been to rehab. We've been together 22 years, listener.
And not all dandy.
No, it has not been a cakewalk. And he has been to rehab 5 times. And you've got to really love somebody to go to family week. Not once, but multiple times, because you sit in a circle, you get in touch with your inner child, you write letters to yourself in your non-dominant hand. I mean, there's just a lot of shit that goes down when you're kind of looking around the circle going, okay, I'm over this. Like, when can I go home? I'm not the one with the drug problem.
Right.
So I'm kind of somewhat thrilled to know that the moon aligns. But even if it didn't, I still think it's bullshit.
I agree. Who's
Yeah.
Tubby's soulmate? Josh?
Josh.
Is that it? Not Jennifer at all?
Not at all. It's
That's a
because,
heartbreak.
But it's because you guys pretty much share the same birthday.
We do. And I just want to let the listener know, fun fact, Tubby and Barack Obama have the same birth date.
So that means you and Barack are also not soulmates.
Oh, that's a heartbreak.
Pumps, how do you feel about Josh being your soulmate? Think that's right?
I think that's right. We're pretty close friends.
Yeah. I think
And we're close.
Yeah, y'all are close. You used to have to drive him to court and you'd pump his gas.
He is such a fucking diva
I know.
that I would have to pump the gas and drive.
Because he didn't want to mess his suit up.
Correct. Not to mention, I was wearing a suit too, but he's just a titty baby, bougie POS sometimes.
So, listener, back in the day, Josh and Pumps practiced law together. And they would go have to drive to these small towns in rural Oklahoma together. Josh would make Pumps drive.
Yeah.
And she did it willingly. She's like, okay, whatever, you prima donna. And then she would pump the gas.
Yeah, I always pump the gas. And you know what? The only thing, I was fine with all that just because I like to browbeat him about him making me do it. But the biggest problem Josh and I had during that period of time was the cup holders. We all had so many drinks. I mean, the cup holder situation was always an issue of contention between the two of us.
I just cringe right now thinking about getting into a vehicle with you if I just have one little normal sized portable water, because I know that you are going to come in with the Stanley cup, the backup cup, and then a bottle of water. It's awful. Flying in an airport with you is awful with all the beverages. And then people that drink all these beverages all the time have to go pee all the time. And it's just this vicious cycle where you're not taking into account the people around you with your slurping, constant bathroom breaks. I've had it.
Yeah, Josh is every bit as bad as me about all the cups too.
So, in conclusion, before I welcome you to our podcast, we've had it with sports parents, grown women that are hanging out at their children's high school because you've already been to school. So get the fuck out of there. the whole moon soulmate thing is bullshit, with the exception of Josh Welch and me. And I will forever not be able to handle all these goddamn beverages that you drink.
I know.
It's just unbelievable. I'll never get over it. I mean, this is a, we could drag out this dead horse and beat it. And I have just as much resentment talking about it now as I did 10 years ago. It still feels fresh and unresolved.
I just have to say, I enjoy it so much when you get all revved up.
I know
about
you
it.
do. I know you do. That's why we're such good friends. Okay, welcome to I've Had It Podcast, a place where you can come every Tuesday and Thursday and get everything off your chest so that you can go back out into the world a kinder and gentler soul to find your moon soulmate.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you should be a sister wife. Like maybe you could talk to him about his hair products and stuff at times. We already kind of do.
I was going to say, he called me this weekend about a very personal medical issue that I kept thinking, is he really calling to tell me that? That's all he's calling about? But yeah, so I mean,
you kind of are a sister wife.
Yeah, it's probably too late for that. We're already there.
So today we're going to have a fantastic guest listener. Her name is Jackie Schimmel. She is the producer, writer, and podcast host of The Bitch Bible.
Fantastic name.
Fantastic
Love
name.
it.
She is a self-proclaimed good time gal and professional asshole.
Oh my gosh, I love her already.
Let's get Jackie on here. Hi, Jackie. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great. Welcome to I've Had It Podcast. This is a safe
you.
place for you to air petty, immature, just juicy little grievances that you have with anybody in your life or any situation in your life.
I love that so much. You're speaking my language.
Can you tell us what you've had it with just right off the cuff?
I mean, I could name 700 things. We could be here for 14 hours. Like I just woke up and I barely had a sip of water and I am ready to fully launch in. Things I've had it with, floating shelves, fiddle leaf figs, Apple watches, pregnant people, International Women's Day, men who drive Hyundais and then they take the emblem off their car and put spoilers on it and rims and pretend they're driving a Maserati, men in white sunglasses, Lake Havasu. I mean, I could go on and on and on.
Well, let's circle back to one in particular, which
Sure.
is the pregnant people, which I believe you are now an offender. Is that correct?
I am, and it's such a buzzkill and such a letdown.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even believe it, to be honest. Yes, I'm almost 6 months pregnant, which is just weird to even say out loud. And it's been difficult terrain for me because I am so consistently irritated with pregnant women and like the mama
Right.
bear tribe.
Right.
It's not every pregnant woman. It's just a subgroup of pregnant women who act like they are, I'm Jewish, so forgive me if I'm messing up this reference, but like Mary Magdalene or something, like the first person like carrying the Messiah or something. It is so overwhelming and overbearing
Yes.
and annoying
Yes.
and counterproductive to feminism. These women walk around like they're the first and only person to ever do it. And they're so foaming at the mouth to give you both tips and tricks, to tell you that your life hasn't started until you've had a child, which is wildly offensive to women who choose not to have children, which, by the way, as the days go on, sounding more and more fucking appealing to me.
No shit. You're exactly right on that.
I mean, come on, like, you'll never know love until you, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. Am I allowed to cuss, by the way? It's been
Yes.
2.5 minutes. I'm sorry.
It's mandatory.
It's mandatory.
It's absolutely
Oh.
fucking mandatory, Jackie. But let me
Oh,
just
thank
tell you
God.
about this universal uniqueness that pregnant women feel, that subsect that you're talking about. Wait
Yeah.
until the baby comes out. And then you have
Oh
the
my God.
labor and delivery warriors that tell you from start to finish their labor and delivery
Yes.
story, as though they're the only people that have ever squeezed a child out of their vagina and or had a C-section, because you will hear a lot of details about it. And then there's the breastfeeding posse.
Oh, that's the worst
that
one.
act like
That's what I'm worried about.
no, it's
Yes.
going to get a million times worse for you. This is just the tip of the fucking iceberg. Fasten your
my God.
seatbelt, because it's all of it is about to march out, and it is going to completely haunt your life. And these women are like heat-seeking missiles. They sense it. They will sense that you're not one of them,
Try to convert you.
and they're going to try to convert
Whoa.
you.
They're going to be marching outside my fucking house.
no
Yeah.
shit.
But let me ask you this: have you become like I'm not a crier. I cry once annually at a very big deal. But when I was pregnant, I cried all the time. Commercials. Like,
Really?
yes, it was pathetic. Oh, it was awful. I hated feeling so much. I mean, it was just. Have you
No,
experienced this?
I will tell you, I've been waiting for that. And I too am someone who is a bit of an ice queen. I never cry. I cry from laughter and joy often in Nancy Meyers movies, but I never find myself moved enough emotionally in the other direction to really cry. And I try sometimes. I'm really like, 'cause I like, first of all, I'm a gorgeous crier. Secondly, I have a lot of sodium retention. I find that after I cry, I look svelte, I look chiseled, and I look glowing.
I like
so I
it.
push it sometimes.
Right.
It's lovely.
Right.
I'm not feeling any of those feels. And I
Really?
feel like no, nada.
So you
Not
really
yet.
are a sociopath.
1000%. I will say that I've gotten nicer, which is scary.
Okay. Okay.
And I don't know why or when or how, or maybe
Right.
I'm just too tired to really like launch into my usual sport of verbal assault.
Right.
But I've gotten a little bit nicer, which is disgusting, quite frankly.
So towards the so my second child, his due date was end of July, and we live in Oklahoma
Okay.
City, and he was born in 2006. And so from like July 1st, and he was finally born on July 25th, it was record heat over 100 degrees
Right.
all 25 days in a row, right?
Nope.
I'm 9 months pregnant. Okay. And at this point, like I do not like being pregnant. I did not like having, my belly out to here. I didn't feel cute. I hated everything about it. So at this point, I hate all my maternity clothes. I hate everything I own. I hate everybody. And
Sure.
so I go to Old Navy, and this is the mid 2000s. And so those gaucho pants were kind of in. I buy 5 pair of black gaucho pants, and I am on a maternity strike. I'm not buying maternity clothes. I'm like, and I'm 9 months pregnant, but I mean, just
Yeah.
sheer principle. So I buy 5 pair of these black gaucho pants and 5 black wife beater tank tops, and I wear them every day. So about a week before the baby's born, I have a 3-year-old at the time. We go to Target. I buy all this shit, and I'm nesting at the house. Well, my husband, who is a total prima donna, I mean, like product junkie asshole out the wazoo, right? He comes pulling up in his Range Rover. I'm unloading the groceries and the toddler in the black gauchos and the black wife beater tank top. He pulls up and he goes, "Oh, I see you got your uniform on today." And he is in an Armani suit.
Ooh, right.
His hair looks great. He smells great. And I reach into the back of my car and I grab a carton of Horizon milk and I take it and I scream, "Fuck you." And I throw it at him and it hits the concrete and this milk just goes everywhere. And my toddler's like, "Mommy." And Josh is like, "Oh, wow." And I'm like, "You can fuck right on off for criticizing my little outfit that I got at Old Navy."
I feel that like deep in my ovaries.
Yes.
For sure. I almost murdered my husband when I was like 7-8 weeks pregnant. And all I wanted was French toast. It was like all I could think about for hours. I dreamt of it. We had one little piece of bread left and like one sprinkle of cinnamon. I gave him really specific instructions. And that fucker decided to hit it with a little Malden salt on top and serve it to me. So I take a bite and there's like a flaky sea salt right on the top. And I looked at him and I was like, did you put salt on the French toast? And he's like, well, sometimes you have like chocolate chip cookies with a little salt. And I said, this is not the time to get fucking creative, Thomas Keller. I will rip your dick off. And I took the plate and I threw it in the sink.
Yeah.
I actually did cry. That was the only time I've cried, like tears of agony over that French toast. And I was like, we're not going to make it. It's not happening. You'll never know your son.
That is, that is unauthorized use of salt. I mean, that was completely unauthorized. And you don't fuck with pregnant women like this. You don't comment on their appearance. You don't fuck up their French toast. You don't show up looking great when your wife's 9 months pregnant and comment on her outfit, Josh Welch, fucker. I mean, the milk just went straight at him. But let me tell you something that nobody's going to tell you, but we're going to tell you.
Okay.
Get ready for this. So you're going to go in to deliver this baby and you're going to get an epidural. Okay.
Yes.
100%. And then you're going to go home and they're going to give you some painkillers, which you're going to take as prescribed. Okay.
Okay.
You're going to be more constipated than you have ever been
in your
entire life. And you're talking 9, 10, 11 days not taking a shit. Nobody fucking talks about this. This is not horrible. In the pregnancy advertisement. That first post-pregnancy shit for me personally was more difficult than giving birth.
I agree.
Pumps, tell her what you did with your ass.
Oh, God.
Tell her.
Please tell me.
Well, I would recommend start taking the stool softener like 2 weeks before.
Tell her.
Okay.
Okay, but it was so miserable and I couldn't poop and I thought I was going to lose my mind. And so I got a spoon and was trying to dig it out with a spoon. Which of course did not work.
She stuck a spoon up her ass.
I mean, I was like,
you're like soft serve? You're trying to like scoop it out of you?
That's what I was going. I mean, I was so irate and beside myself that I was like, go get me a spoon. And then of course
are we talking like a stainless steel? Are we talking like a silicone spatula?
No, we're talking like a stainless steel teaspoon.
So a skinnier teaspoon.
A skinnier teaspoon. But
did you lube it? Okay. Did you lube it?
I don't think I lubed it. I was so miserable, but I couldn't get anything.
You barebacked that spoon up your ass? You barebacked that fucking teaspoon right up your ass?
I did.
A dirty slut.
Oh my God, I love you so much. Thank you for sharing that. If I get to that place, I'm going to shove.
There's no if. It's coming. I promise you, this thing is coming for you. If you epidural, and you do those painkillers, you are going to think of us. You're going to be on that toilet. You're going to be straining red, veins bulging out of your neck, squeezing as hard as you can. You'll be like, I don't think I pushed this hard when I delivered the kid. And then it will start to crown a little bit. And then you hear the baby cry and you exhale and then it goes right back up. I'm telling you, this is not talked about. This is not in the advertisements. This is a huge problem that is going widely ignored globally.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you.
We found our philanthropic work for the future. We need to start like a fundraiser, a march, a donation center.
Totally.
Oh my God, we could be the faces of post-birth constipation solutions.
Yes, and I love that. We could have maybe teaspoon condoms that are lubricated for merch so people like Pumps don't have to bareback anymore.
Right. Lube automatically with the condoms. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That is a great idea.
Yeah.
I love what we're doing here today. It's really important work.
Yeah. No, it is big time work, but I'm telling you, that is coming for you.
It's not fun.
I cannot wait.
It's so miserable. Here's what Mother Nature does to pregnant women, the labor and delivery in the first 3 months of having a baby. You kind of have amnesia about how miserable all of it is. Right. And I think it's like, like a Darwinian way to make sure we reproduce again. Because when you're in it, when you have a teaspoon crammed up your ass with no lubricant and no condom, trying to dig out a shit, you go ahead and have another baby.
Right.
Because you forget that shit.
I remember with
Which is psychotic. In theory.
psychotic.
Totally.
I remember with my first son, when he was born, I remember like the first 3 to 4 months thinking, why would anybody ever do this twice? Like I was completely convinced I would never have another baby. Ended up having 2 more.
So I have a little advice for you. When you get to the early part of the summer months, if you happen to go to a swimming pool 8 to 9 months pregnant. Pumps and I, when she was pregnant with her third, we went to a swimming pool. I had a toddler at the time, did not have my second. And we put our kids in the little kiddie pool. And I'm sitting on the ledge of the kiddie pool with my feet in. And Pumps is wearing she's 9 months pregnant. She's wearing a black one-piece swimsuit. And she's standing up next to me. So if I turn my head to the left, I have a direct view of her belly. And then I kind of look down and the swimsuit is going down. It's supposed to cup over the crotch and the vagine.
Sure.
Right. Well, my eyes, as I turn left, I'm about parallel, right smack dab on with a profile shot of the vagine. And the belly was so far out, the swimsuit was a couple of inches out. So I could see sunlight through pubic hairs straight across the pool. So
Like the Grand Canyon. Yeah.
Yeah.
totally. So just a little tip from I've Had It podcast to pregnant women. Don't do what Pumps did. Make sure you have a swimsuit that sucks up to the vagine so that your friend doesn't
Sure.
see
All of that.
Let me ask you this. Did you do any sort of like vaginal grooming prior to your delivery
Yeah, I think I did.
for the benefit of the doctor?
Right.
How do you feel about this, Jackie? What are you going to do with your vagine?
It's a great question. I had laser hair removal the day before I found out I was pregnant.
That's
Okay.
nice.
Impeccable timing. So my baby
Yes.
will probably be bald. And I also had Botox the day before I found out I was pregnant, like all from the neck, from the top of the tits to the forehead.
Oh,
So that's got to be great for my fetus. So since I've been pregnant, everything has come back with a vengeance.
Really?
With an Ashkenazi vengeance, if you know what I mean. Like it is coming back full force. It's like, bitch, 18 rounds of laser hair removal hasn't done shit. And
Right.
it is erupting out of my
Right.
skin. And it's dark and it is thick.
Yeah.
So for my own sanity, I'm going to get my first wax next week because
Okay.
I need to, because
Okay.
it's a rough situation. now.
Right.
And,
Right.
and because of the laser, it's patchy. So there's no consistency in my foliage, if you know what I'm saying.
So it's not like an attractive 1970s porn bush.
no.
It's a bald, an aging,
Like a mangy dog.
mangy porn bush.
Alopecia. It's like half of it is fine.
Right.
And then half of it is back with the vengeance.
Right.
And I can't get a grip on the situation.
Right.
So I think I need to kick it back to basics. I can't shave. My
Well, you
skin is too
Brazilian?
sensitive. I don't know if I want to go full Brazilian. Now that I'm going to be a mother, I feel like it might be in poor taste. I think I need to keep a little, like, the problem is I don't even have enough in that area to have like a nice clean strip. It's still going to be patchy.
I think it's interesting, the evolution of pubic hair.
Do you remember that July 4th, we were at the club, drank a bunch of club specials. Our friend Sarah was telling us about how she trimmed her vagine with her razor, not scissors. So I go home, too many cocktails. I get in the shower and I decide to do that. And I'm like, okay, I'll just do this. Well, I mean, it was mangy dog. I had to take the whole thing off. It was that bad.
Yeah.
But I went to bed and I forgot when I woke up that I had done it. And I sat down on that toilet the next morning and I thought, I was just like, oh my gosh, what happened? It was so startling.
She called
I bet.
It was awful.
She called me the next morning and she's like, do you remember how drunk we were yesterday? And Sarah was telling us how she trimmed her vagine. So I did that to mine and then I fucked it up. And so I shaved it all off and then I totally forgot about it. This morning I thought, what happened to my pubic hair?
It was bad.
During the pandemic, I decided that I was going to try to give myself an at-home Amazon vagina wax.
Oh,
And
That's ambitious.
that is.
so ambitious. I mean, this is how you knew, like, I was really bored. I was trying to just like DIY all my, like, beauty routines. And my husband was out of town for a couple days. So I was like, this is the perfect time for me to like, put the mirror down, spread eagle on the floor, and like try to figure this out. I got through a couple strips, and it was stripless wax. So it was the wax that dries on your skin.
Right.
Which is supposed to be less painful because it's not ripping at your skin. It only allegedly adheres to the hair. Incorrect. 1-star review. Put it all over. I got through one, like I'm bleeding. I'm like barely getting it off. And then I had one real close to the labia, and I just couldn't do it. Like I tried. And before it was fully dried, I wanted to try to like scrub it off because I just couldn't go through with it. I stood up, I walked to the bathroom, and my labia glued shut.
No.
Yes, because when I was, I don't need to give you a demo, but my legs were spread.
Right.
I was putting the wax on the inside.
Right.
Then I wanted to abort mission. So I stand up to go to the sink. And in the pursuit of standing up to rid myself of this stripless purple wax, my vagina glued shut.
Oh my God.
I have to ask, how'd you fix it? I mean, how'd you get it not to be glued shut?
So they had some like an oil solution that was supposed to like get rid of the remnants of leftover wax. And I was just slathering it all over myself. Did not really work. This is towards, I had a couple martinis at the time. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to bed. I'll figure it out in the morning. I woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, like a midnight pee. And when I went to go sit down to pee, it occurred to me that my vagina was still glued shut. And it kind of started like coming out the back almost. Like the pee was not exiting.
No,
it wasn't exiting properly.
This is,
Yes.
I mean, this is a stage 5 vaginal meltdown is what this is.
It was terrible.
It's a cautionary
I'm a
tale.
smart person.
Yeah.
I can figure this out. I'm kind of crafty and handy. Not for an at-home wax. It was traumatizing. It took days.
This is something that's 1,000% something that Pumps would do. I mean,
100%.
100%. She could fuck up a wet dream. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Her ability to fuck shit up is unparalleled. I mean, it is. So she's right there with you. You are in good company.
Yes.
Let's move on to Apple Watches. I want to hear.
Okay.
Because I'm an Apple Watch wearer. And Pumps is too. So you tell us. I mean, and don't, we have thick skin. So just make your case.
I will make my case. I have been under a lot of scrutiny recently because I said in my podcast that I think it is atrocious, unacceptable, and just blasphemous that people think that it's okay to wear Apple Watches to weddings and or various formal events. I think you can take the night off. I've learned a lot about it because I've been verbally assaulted by strangers on the internet talking about their insulin levels and their rings and their kiddos and their babysitters and their heart monitors and everything under the sun, making me like I'm a terrible person because I don't care about them going into cardiac arrest while they're wearing their Apple Watch. While I understand all of those things may be true, I still aesthetically have an issue. If you're going to a wedding, maybe you take the Apple Watch off. I just don't think it's necessary to wear to an event. Call me crazy.
I agree with you intellectually and everything that you just said. And I say, fuck the opposing view on the internet. Because there's always some subcult that, they're going to come out after this episode. The breastfeeders, the pubic hairs, the people with mangy pubic hair, they're coming for us. Okay. They are coming.
Fuck off.
And we're
firstly.
ready. They can fuck right on off. But
don't care at all.
No.
Get a journal.
Exactly. We welcome them because we like to do dramatic readings of them for comedic relief. But
same.
I agree with everything you say intellectually. But I am an offender. And let me tell you why. It's not for life-saving measures. It's not about my kids. It's not about my pets. I don't want to let my watch down. That thing fucking bosses me around all day. I get these badges.
Really?
I get these awards. I have this fucked up codependent relationship with the watch where it's like, you need to stand up. You need to breathe. You need to do this. I'm like, God, this fucking thing is so goddamn bossy,
Yeah, it
but
is
I've got to
bossy.
close my rings. And I went to an engagement.
I don't even know what that means.
Exactly.
The rings.
Exactly.
I love that I live with the careless abandon of not knowing what it's like to close a fucking ring.
That's right.
I
And
don't
you know-
want to know.
No, the ignorance is bliss, because let me tell you how bad, what an offender I am at this. I went to an engagement party the other night. Great dress. I got a great blowout. Josh looked great, per usual. We strolled into this event. Great shoes, great handbag, Apple Watch. And I even looked
We just
down.
took a big step back.
No, it was a big L, and I knew it. I looked down. I was looking at like ladies' bracelets and wedding rings and whatnot, and I was like, I have on my Apple Watch here, and it does not look good. It does not look good with this outfit, but I'm not taking it off because I can't let this watch down. This watch is on me. It is on me like a fucking tick on a dog. I mean, it is like all over me to do the right thing. And I don't want to let the watch down.
Yeah, no,
And I agree
that.
intellectually with you. I've had it with me. I've had it with the rings. I've had it with all of it. But some things we have it with, but we are contributors to the problem.
Right.
Most of the things that we bitch about, quite frankly, we probably do, because it's that whole thing, you spot it, you got it.
Right.
You know.
Totally. By the way, I'm like 1 week away from an Apple Watch. So when you see me, just pretend you never saw anything. And the best is when people on the internet, which I'm sure you guys get a ton of, when you like voice a really passionate opinion and then people are like, why do you care? Geez, relax. Somebody needs to get a life. Like, do you understand that it is my livelihood and it is my calling in life to bitch and complain overtly passionately about things I barely care about for fun. And I could flip and switch.
That's right.
And whip and nay and totally change my mind 30 seconds later. But I have a job to do for the people, Brenda. So yes, I will scream into a microphone. And do I actually care that much? Not really. But we got to keep the lights on. I have a child to raise.
That's right.
Breastfeed.
That's exactly
right.
right.
For fuck's sake.
Isn't it great? We find it incredibly flattering that people take the time to go onto the internet to tell you how much they either dislike you, dislike your opinion, because that takes energy. And I don't have that kind of energy to comment on two middle-aged women's podcast. I just don't. I mean, I just don't fucking have that in me. If it's something I really like, I'd be like, oh my God, this is hilarious. But if I dislike something, I simply just cease watching it, cease listening to it, and that's the end of it.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're obsessed with me. They love me. Oh my God. I've never written like a negative comment on a stranger's anything in my whole life. And I got a lot of free time on my hands. So the fact that people have the care and the passion and the investment
and the time
it's a beautiful transaction, and they don't get it because it's like, this is like a love letter. Like, we're in love. This is Nicholas Sparks shit. You're Noah. I'm Allie. You're writing me all these letters. I'm not writing you back. You know, like it's crazy.
We view it through the same lens.
Yeah.
It's beautiful and we welcome it. And it just really brings us so much heartwarming joy.
It feels good.
It does. It does feel good. Well, Jackie, we cannot thank you enough for sharing with us what you've had it with. And I want to circle back with you. And when's your due date?
July 15th.
Okay, about 10 days. So July 25th, that will be my son's birthday. Around that time, you should be having your first post-delivery shit. And I want to get knee deep into that shit with you, pun intended.
Yeah,
and so we would like to circle back with you and have you back on this podcast so that we can shine a light to this very underreported problem that is troubling women all across the globe. And
I would be happy to donate my experience to science and humanitarian work for the sake of women everywhere. And we're filming this on International Women's Day. So that is my contribution.
that's right.
That's awesome.
That's perfect.
Thank you so much. This was so fun.
It was so fun, Jackie. We hope to see you soon. And good luck with the delivery and the breastfeeding nurses. It is a fucking minefield
Just
out
put
there.
a sign out there that says, mind your business.
Draw boundaries.
Yeah.
You've got this,
Boundaries,
Jackie.
baby. I got it. Thank you so much.
Bye, Jackie.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
She is the most fun.
I mean,
Love
she
her.
is so good.
She is fantastic.
I mean, she is like totally on brand with us.
Yes.
She's had it. She's cynical, sharp as a tack, that one. I really feel badly for her because now we've planted the seed
Right.
about the constipation, which I think can exacerbate constipation.
Well, I hope she just starts taking those stool softeners like 2 weeks before.
I did with Roman because you advised me to do so.
It's like you can't get it out.
But just in the same way that you advised me that Roman was going to be a girl, it was an abject failure. Yeah, it was a total failure beyond measure.
You would think if we could put a man on the moon, we should be able to get women that just deliver a baby to have a poop.
Yeah, sadly, I think if we could put the science they put into erections it's outstanding.
Ridiculously.
4 hours they can make that thing last.
Which is just a nightmare on every level.
Women able to take a shit after squeezing a baby out of their vagine seems to have taken the back burner.
Of course.
That's why I think that this is a huge issue that we need to discuss. And I want, listener, listen up. I know a lot of you are ladies, and I know a lot of you have had children, and you've probably experienced what we're talking about. Please DM us, not gory details. But we want to know. I mean, we're not alone in this. This didn't just happen in a
No.
vacuum with Pumps and me.
No, everybody I know.
Did anybody else you think anybody else barebacked a teaspoon up their ass?
I don't know. I was so desperate.
How far did you stick it up there?
Not very far because I couldn't get it in.
An inch?
No, I don't even think I got it really in.
When you say in, you kind of like are circling your hand
Well,
around.
I was trying
Were you
to like
corkscrewing it?
Yeah, I was trying to get it
Corkscrew
in
it.
there and I couldn't.
So the idea was to get it in.
Break it up. No gory details. We're the worst offenders.
Okay, we are the
That's awful.
Listener.
Sorry about that.
Listener. Oh my God. What? We're going to be canceled.
Or people are going to say, me too.
So, listener, we want to thank you for joining us. Please follow us on all the social medias. Give us all the stars. Write all the reviews. Just do all of those things.
All of those things. And then we will see you next Tuesday.
Or Thursday.
Spells cunt either way.
It sure does.
I'll tell you what I've had it with. Let's hear it.